I just want to clarify, I agree with you about people being able to see each other speaking and raising hands. What I'm talking about is a meeting where cameras would be placed in a way that people could see the people who are speaking in the other venues, because I wouldn't want something that is blind, and I think it's really important. I know we had only audio in 2 of the rooms, and I think we absolutely need to have video. And I don't pretend that that's an easy task. I just want to clarify. That's what
Do you want to talk, Darren, and talk about the technology we currently have access to and what are within our technological capabilities?
JP, who may want to talk to that issue too. I mean, there's certain complications to it. We've had a 15-second delay. We have a 15-second delay. We had many complaints last year about the 15-second delay. I just want to make sure people understand that. And that's just in another room. And we'll see the same thing definitely if it's in different pods. It's just how do we accomplish that? JP,
if you can just identify yourself first and use the microphone.
Ludwig. I have my own consulting business, and I do media production all over Cape Cod. And I've produced several town meetings with multiple rooms, with multiple audio, and also with multiple video. And the way we've solved this problem with multiple video is we use Zoom. We put it on a closed circuit link so that, the public can watch it on TV or watch it on the live stream. But in order for it to be between the rooms, it's just on Zoom. We have a switcher, a video switcher, much like you have in the other room. And we run one channel to have that Zoom signal on it. Mm-hmm. Now, what I've done this in Brewster numerous times, and what we do is we use the school's smart boards, and not smart boards, but they have big screens like this as well. And these kind of outdo the smart board thing, but we use those smart boards, and there is no delay. We have, in the main room, we're feeding the Zoom with our switcher feed, just like we do here, and we're using that switcher feed to go into Zoom, so it's in real time. Then audio-wise, and the same gentleman that was doing your audio at the meeting the other night, I've hired numerous times to work with me. Mm-hmm. And when he's worked with me in Brewster, what we have done is we take a feed off the board, separate audio, not the Zoom audio, but we take a separate feed off the board so people can hear what's in the main room. We've done these in Stony Brook School. We would have the main room in the auditorium, the cafeterium, I guess they call it. We have a library, and we have a Zoom thing like this in the library. Then we have a separate audio speaker in the library just for that room that's being fed off the main room, okay? So the main feed coming off the main room goes into that library, and then we also have it so the way we've done it is they have, and I imagine you all did this, there's assistant moderators, and those moderators were speaking to the town administrator's assistant to tell the administrator there's somebody in the auditorium that wants to speak to this. So then we have that audio feed comes in from that, just the library. We did this in numerous rooms, by the way. And we have that feed come in just from the library, goes into the main room board, so everybody in the main room can hear those people in the other room.
So if
one building though?
Yeah,
yes.
So
as opposed to
pods.
Would that work though with multiple sites?
The only way I could see you doing it with multiple
Can you make
sites.
sure you use the microphone?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I should know. Gosh, I've been screaming at people about this for decades to talk into the microphone. So, in multiple buildings, I would have to really think about this. Years ago, we were going to do something like this in Brewster, and we were going to run a Cat5 cable from one school to the other. And fortunately, we decided not, and the fire department was going to assist us in that. Fortunately, we figured out how to do it in the school. And so we used the main library, we used the main auditorium, the main library, then we also had a room upstairs that was also wired. And we didn't end up using it, but we had the Zoom capability up there too, once again, in real time. And then the audio's all in real time. Now, in a separate building, it wouldn't be a delay, but it would be a whole nother audio setup to go into a separate switcher, go into a switcher, come out of that switcher, go into Zoom, send it over to the other building, and that could be done in real time. And I've produced numerous meetings like this, And so if you would like to know
Well-
my
Well,
expertise on
this-
this.
You're-
if I can, Madam Chair. 'Cause-
Input is invaluable, and it makes me wonder, Lauren, if we can add Orleans and Brewster to the letter, since we know Brewster has this technology.
Well, absolutely. I don't think there's anything that would prohibit you from adding other communities.
Okay.
And just in closing, in most of these cases, like Brewster has their own video switcher, but we hired out the contractor, Chris Blood, that you guys use. We hire him out to do all that extensive audio. And then we have our own people that are doing the audio in the main auditorium. And I used to do town meeting here too for years. And what we used to do was we would utilize your sound system that you have at the school already. And we would use that to augment whatever you have. I don't know how many people the school will hold. But if there's separate rooms, this could all be done. I just wanted to tell you that. And Zoom is the key here because there would not be a delay. The
Okay.
only delay would be the live stream going out to the public, which is going through your website. And also, I also like tell people, there's an app for this that you can see the live stream of Churro.
Appreciate it.
Madam
Thank
Chair,
you.
if I could clarify. Thanks, JP. Really appreciate that. I mean, next thing is to figure out what the cost would be. I don't, based on our working with Chris Blood, we try to fix this. The person that you've used to do the communications, he couldn't get that separate line with his equipment to provide a separate feed under Zoom to the satellite room. So we asked him, and he couldn't. Maybe it's his equipment limitations, but we did ask him to do that. So if we could figure out and help try to, because this doesn't sound like this TC, like Churro Central School has the smart boards to be able to maybe to accomplish that, or he just wasn't aware of how to do that with his equipment.
Well, when I've used him in the
Here,
past,
just-
when I've used him in the past, it's been specifically for audio.
Okay.
And we did all the video production. So, I mean, this is something where, you know, you might, like I said, Churro doesn't really have a portable board, but it might be worth buying one.
Okay.
And especially going forward in the future, because if you look at, like, if we're going to go out and rent it, then, and we shouldn't have to, you have big screens at the school, I've seen them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had him before,
Every
but there was a
room has
15-second delay.
Yeah. we
Every
could use
room
all
has
those.
a,
Appreciate it.
Could use
Thank
all
you. Well, so this agenda item isn't to actually figure out what we're
Yeah.
going to do. It's just for the special act for Governor Healy. So do we have any more comments or questions about the agenda item?
Madam Chair, I would like you to call the fire chief back. I have a question
Sure.
about the
Chief
May.
Collins, can you join us, please?
Thank you, Chief, for being here. In a previous conversation that we had, you were going to do some research regarding capacity at the ball field. I'm curious about if you have discovered that, because in the breakdown of chairs only in the past, when we've held a town meeting at the ball field, there were large numbers of people who were standing. And I'm wondering if there are any restrictions or what the ultimate capacity is. That's a large area. I'm not aware of the availability of tents that could enclose the whole area given the possibility of inclement weather. But have you got any additional information regarding chairs only for the ball field? Thank you.
I'm working with the building commissioner on that. This falls under the building department as far as occupancy. I was actually looking at tents when you called me up. So most of the tents I've come across are around 500 to 600 people. But we will work with the building commissioner. I am working with code compliance to assure egress. Occupancy is about egress. I don't want to digress here, but so basically what it is, it's a calculation that's used to evacuate the building in a safe manner should something go wrong, okay? So indoor versus outdoor, you're going to have different seating requirements or different occupancy requirements. So I don't have the number. Mr. Stevens is working on that, so we will get that number to the board. I'll get through the town manager, hopefully by the end of this week.
Thank you. And I've had people ask about beaches, but we also have to think about electricity and technology in order to run a town meeting, some chairs and parking. And so large spaces are not necessarily what we're looking for. We're looking to conduct a town meeting.
Madam Chair?
Yeah, and then let's move on.
Well, if I could just make real quick 2 comments unrelated to this issue. The Board of Pamela has reached out to us, and several members have recommended using their facility and using expanded tents there. That could get us to the point, better parking there. It could be a better location for May. We're working with their board to be able to maybe use that as an option. I will also say, I think this is important for the community to know, that if the DPW facility in its current design was built, it would house it could accommodate over 1,000 voters in that building. So it would be the only solution. The current design that we have, that we've recommended, would accommodate enough voters more than enough voters than we had at Truro Central School. So just know that.
Any more comments on the special act? I don't want to talk about how we pull off town meeting. That is not our agenda item.
Are we ready for a motion?
Yeah,
Madam
I'm ready.
Chair? I move to pursue a special act called a governor's bill per Section 8 of the Home Rule Amendment to the Massachusetts Constitution to give the town the flexibility to hold town meeting elsewhere that provides for increased capacity.
By authorizing the chair to sign the letter prepared by town council on behalf of the select board and the town's legislative delegation. Do I have a second? Any discussion? All right, all those in favor? Sue?
Aye.
John? Aye. Bob?
Aye.
Stephanie?
Aye.
Kristen, aye. All in the affirmative.